Hello everyone, this is Arul here from RaspberryPi channel. In this video, I'm going to stream the sensor data to the Google Cloud platform using our Raspberry Pi. Here I'm not going to read the actual sensor data, instead I'm going to do a simulation. So I'm going to use the Python code which will create some random values and stream the data to the cloud. Before we start, we should have our Google Cloud account. If you don't have one, you can open it and get some $300 credit as a free trial. And then we have to enable the APIs like DataFlow, PubSub and IoT Core. Once you enable it, we have to create like a PubSub topic and its subscription. So PubSub is nothing but a messaging queue service with the Google Cloud platform, and also we have to create an IoT registry where we have to register our device. In our case it is like Raspberry Pi, and then we have to create our data flow. So data flow is nothing but a data processing tool which will read the messages from the subscription and stream the data to our BigQuery. So BigQuery is like a data warehousing tool in the Google Cloud platform. And we may also need to create a storage bucket for a data flow process to store some temp files. Here in this project, we are going to simulate the heartbeat like BPM, beats per minute, and stream the data to the cloud services. Okay, let's do this step by step. First, I will go ahead and create the PubSub topic and its subscription. Go to your console page and search for PubSub. So once you search, you can open that service. Click create topic. You can give your topic name. So I already have my topic like Heartrate data. Once the topic is created, click on the three dots there and click create your subscription. So subscription will ensure to read the messages that is put on this topic Heartrate data. So it's very simple here. And if you give, you can just give your subscription, and method like pull from the topics you can select as pull. And there is also a retention duration that you can configure, and when to expire. Those parameters you can configure in this PubSub services. Now our PubSub topic is done. Next we will go ahead and create our BigQuery table data sets and the required tables. So here I already have my table and the required data set, but if you want to create one, just create a data set under your project and give the name. So you will be able to see the data set, and once you get your data set, click on the create table and create all your required parameters. So for this project we have these four parameters like sensor ID, time collected, Heartrate data. Likewise you can create the parameters. So I will give all these details in this YouTube link. You can go ahead and try it out if you want to do this project. Now our PubSub setup is done, and we also created the BigQuery table. Next we have to create our data flow job to read the messages from the subscription and stream the data to our BigQuery table. Let's do that. Now go back to the console and search for the data flow. If the API is not enabled, please do enable it. So data flow is like a data processing and transformation tool, as I mentioned earlier. So any data processing, right, there will be a different stages like data ingestion, data processing and transformation, data warehousing and data analytics. So we have done with our data ingestion, we created the PubSub topics, and then we created the data warehousing like BigQuery data set and the table. Now we have to create our data flow job to do the process and transformation work. So for that, once you are into the service, just click create job from the template. So we have an existing template, we can select and create it. So here we have to use like PubSub subscription to BigQuery. Likewise, we have a lot of services like Kafka or PubSub topic to BigQuery. We can create our jobs using the existing templates. So here we have to give our required parameters like our subscription. So I'm copying the subscription and we have to give it here. Likewise, we also need to give our project ID and BigQuery dataset and BigQuery table name. So to get your project ID, maybe you can just go here, click on your project and get your project ID, and you just follow the format that is guided there and copy the project ID, and likewise go to your dataset and table, copy and paste it, your dataset name and the table name. And after that, we also need to create a storage bucket to store the temporary files from the DataFlow. So for that, we have to go to our Google storage service and create the bucket. Let's do that. So I'm going to just search it as a storage here, and you will get the service. Just open it, and I already have my folder created, but if you want to create one, you can just need to create bucket, and inside that you can create a folder like temp. So once you create the folders, please do configure the same in our DataFlow job and click run job to read the messages from our subscription. So this job should be in a status of running whenever the data is streamed to the cloud. So now we completed our data ingestion setup. Data processing and transformation tool is also set up with the DataFlow job, and then we also created our data warehousing table in the BigQuery. So next we have to run the steps that is shown in the screen in our Raspberry to continue with this project. So just do your app get update and then install the Git if you don't have one, and clone our code that is provided by the Google Cloud Labs to simulate our Heartrate data. And go to the directory, give that executive access and run the shell script. So this will install all the core packages, and also we have to generate the keys to connect with our Google platform. This will generate private, public and root file for us to connect from our Raspberry Pi to our Google Cloud platform. So we are almost done. Our final step is to create our IoT registry. So just search for IoT core in the console and select the service, and there is like a registry. So I already have my registry, but if you want to create one, just go to IoT core and click on the create registry. So once you click, it will ask for our registration ID and the region, and then here is going to ask our PubSub topic from where the messages are going to be streamed, right? So the messages are going to be posted. So we will configure that, and then once you create the registry, we have to go and register our device. So we can register multiple device. So here I've just created my device. So click on the create device, give your device ID, and then give communication as allow, and then there is an authentication. So in this authentication, we are just going to do like E256 keys we are going to configure that was generated in our previous step. So we have to copy and paste that public key here. So from your Raspberry Pi, you have to copy and paste the keys here into this folder. So to do that, you have to do a file transfer from your Raspberry to your local computer. So I'm using FileZilla. Just drag and drop to your local computer, copy your public key and configure into your IoT device in the Google platform. So this will authorize our device to get connected to the GCP. Next, log in to your Raspberry Pi and go to the folder IoT Core Heartrate and give a list. So this is our repo that we did a clone, and then if you see, there is like a two Python files like check Heartrate, and then other one you have is like Heart Simulator. So we are going to use heartsimulator.py here, but check Heartrate is like, okay, if you want to connect your actual sensor, Heartrate sensor, and if you want to run, you can run this file. So next one, we have to go and edit our secret file path in our Heart Simulator file. So just go inside the file using vim command and edit the file with your cert path. So cert path will always get generated into .ssh folder under your home pi path. So just go ahead and edit this like home pi.ssh and roots.pub. So just go through the code. So these are provided by Google Cloud Apps, so I have not written any code here, so you just go through the code for your own understanding. It's a simple Python code that generates the random heart rate data. So here I am going to run the code now. Let's check whether the data is simulated. Yes, so I executed the code and I'm able to simulate the data. So I also have in parallel my Raspberry is connected with an actual sensor. I will show you in a bit what are the sensors that is used to connect with your Raspberry Pi to read our heart rate. But here in my sensor I am having some issues, like I'm not able to get the right data. So if I execute, if you see, the heart rate is not like a reliable one. So I think there is some issue with my sensor, so that's why I'm showing you a simulated version to stream the data to the Google Cloud platform. But if you want to try one, I can show you what are the sensors that is needed to connect to the Raspberry Pi. So this is our polar heart rate sensor, helps us to read the heart rate, and this also comes with the T34 heart rate transmitter, which transmits the heart rate to our Raspberry Pi. So this is how you connect with your Raspberry Pi, the transmitter, and these are the GPU pin connections that is used. So I will share a detailed link under the YouTube if you want to connect with your actual sensor for this project. Now let's check whether our streamed data got inserted in our BigQuery table. I will log into the BigQuery and I'm going to run a select query, so where I'm going to put a condition with my sensor ID. So let's try to execute this query to have our heart rate data that is streamed through our Raspberry Pi. So let me execute. Yes, the data got inserted, it's published to the topic, and from subscriber to DataFlow, and DataFlow ingested to our BigQuery table. So we can, from here we can export it to analytics tools, or we can also go save it in our data studio. We can save it in our local file, CSV file, or even in a Google Sheet. So let me try to save the result set in our Google Sheet now. So just click on the save query results and you will get a lot of options here. So here I'm going to select as Google Sheet, and this will be extracted to our Google Sheet, and from here we can insert a chart and do the data analysis. Click chart and select our chart style. We can select our different chart style that is there available in the Google Sheets. So I will go with like scatter chart style for now. Yeah. So likewise we can analyze our heart rate, like at a particular time, what was the BPM, by reading the data from a sensor. Now you can imagine the benefits of IoT in healthcare. A small vital patch can be connected to an internet to monitor the patient's health. Thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please do subscribe and follow the channel. Thank you. Bye bye.